My name is Dr. Pritesh Mutha. I'm a gastroenterologist, interventional endoscopist at University of Texas, Houston, UT Physicians, and I'm also a director of third space endoscopy. I'm also board certified in lifestyle medicine. I went vegan starting in 2009, and eventually over the period of years, I completely transitioned into whole foods plant-based diet. Lots of reasons, but compassion was the big one. Once I learned the violence towards animals in dairy industry, I just could not keep myself from stopping to consume dairy. And eventually I learned the health benefits, and I personally saw the impact of quitting dairy, and that just made my desire even stronger to bring it to my patients and help them go on this path for their own health and overall for environment. And that's how I started my journey. I eventually got board certified in lifestyle medicine, and I'm just so very passionate about it because all my patients who follow this, essentially they become disease-free and medicine-free, which is what I dream of, and I absolutely love it when it happens.
So tell me a little bit more about what helped you realize the compassionate side. Sounds like you did this for ethical reasons in the beginning mostly?
Yes.
And how did you come across realizing that? Tell me a little bit more about that.
So I'm a Jain, so we are all about nonviolence, and I practice nonviolence to the core. Even among plants, I avoid plants where we have to uproot the plant. I avoid eating those plants. So I'm all about nonviolence. But I consume dairy because I thought, well, it's the excess milk that we are consuming after the calf is fed. Until I came across PCRM website, PCRM, Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, and then eventually there were some videos that I came across, some from our Jaina organization, which is a Jain association in North America, where I learned about these videos that they created after visiting these animal shelters in India, and I saw the violence in it. I'm like, in my good conscience, I could not consume dairy anymore. But when I started on that journey, I saw the amazing positive impact on my health after I quit it. So that's where I started to bring it to my practice as well.
So you've never had meat?
Never had meat. No meat, no eggs, no fish. Anything that has eyes and a mom, I never had that.
Do you mind me asking how old you are?
I'm 40 and a half.
And is your whole family vegan or just you? Or?
So dairy consumption is acceptable because we had our own farm. We used to raise cattle and we used to take care of them. We used to take care of the calf. It was never a question that you should give up dairy because we used to take care of cows very nicely, calves, everything. At least that's what I was under the assumption of. But eventually I realized after it became an industry and money-making business, what was truly happening. So yes, essentially in Jainism also, if you go to the next level, they recommend quit dairy completely. But at the basic level, they are like, you can consume a little bit of dairy, but definitely do not eat eggs, fish, meat.
And so your whole family kind of already
Correct.
does this?
That's right.
Yeah. But have any of them gone vegan since you have?
Yes, my parents have, my in-laws have, my wife. Actually, me and my wife went vegan, and our son was like, you're not consuming dairy, then why should I? And so he went vegan too. So
awesome. How old is he?
He's now 11.
And that was a few weeks ago, right?
Oh, actually more than almost a few months ago.
Okay, because when I talked to him a little bit ago, and
yeah, then he quit the next step also a few weeks. He quit milk, and then eventually he's quit chocolates, cheese.
Wow.
Yeah.
All on his own?
On his own. We didn't force him. We used to just educate him that this is what happens. I feel like when you educate people and show them the evidence and empower them to make the right choices, more likely they'll do it, and once they do it, they'll stick with it. But if they just do it because you ask them to do it, it may not last that long.
Wow. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What about your parents? I mean, a lot of people would just love to know how you did that, you know?
It was a very, very difficult job because chai in India, tea, is a staple. Everybody wants to have tea every in the morning. Plus, everybody else says it's okay to have dairy. But, talking about it constantly, there are newer documentaries coming out all the time. Something that can click with them, I was able to show eventually, and then they accepted it. And they started reading about it, and eventually they started advocating it. That there is so much violence in dairy, we should not consume. Now that's what their words are, and I absolutely love to hear that.
But you said it was hard, right?
Absolutely.
What was hard about it?
Especially because they have consumed dairy all their life, and we are Jains who believe strongly in non-violence, and dairy was allowed. So this concept that dairy could be violent was a little bit hard to digest. And with the industry thing, and he himself knew on the farm what happened. So it wasn't, we used to take really good care of our cattle, so he couldn't believe it. Now we don't have our farm or cattle, but then he saw what's happening in the industry. My mom was okay otherwise except the tea. Then eventually they were both able to kick that habit. Now they just have green tea in the morning and they give up dairy.
Wow. How far back does this Jainism go?
So it's actually time immemorial. So millions and millions of years since the beginning of time, Jainism has been there. People don't know much about it actually. And I have read that Pythagoras himself said, if I were to born again, I would like to be a Jain actually. That's what he said that. So Jainism, people believe that it started 2,500 years ago, but that isn't the case. It's been always there for thousands and thousands of years.
Wow. I thought you said millions.
Millions and millions of years, because there are 24 Tirthankaras, that's how we call it. The first Tirthankar was several million years ago. It actually goes to say that billions of years ago. That's how it says. So the Jainism history goes far back. There's essentially Jainism is about laws of universe, laws of physics. That's all it is. It's very practical for you to understand and grasp. That's all they talk about actually.
Now, I find this really a valuable opportunity here to address some things that have been coming up lately. You know, somebody's gone vegan and then they claim that they can't do it anymore because maybe they had IBS or something like that. Do you ever see any vegans in your practice, first of all?
Absolutely. A lot of patients who come to me reach out to me because they look me up and they're like, oh, you were plant-based supporter and I'm on that journey, so I would like to see you, one. But there are patients who come to me and I educate every single patient about it. So some of them actually do follow that and they see tremendous changes. Okay. So yes, very commonly.
And so do you feel like there's ever a case where somebody has like IBS or something and they just can't get over it and they have to go back to eating animals?
Never. If they're doing it, if they're saying that I'm vegan and I'm still suffering and I have to go back to eating meat, that means they weren't doing the right thing. And I've had that kind of patients too. So there are 6 components of lifestyle medicine. Just focusing on diet part, soda is vegan, sugar is vegan. So if you consume oily foods, they're vegan. Eating in a restaurant which has processed ketchup, sauces, that kind of stuff, it's still vegan, but very harmful for your gut. Unless you're on whole foods, plant-based diet, whatever you're consuming, even if it is vegan, could be very, very bad for you. So you need some education on what you should eat, how you should eat. Like I tailor my recommendations to patients. Like somebody has gastroparesis, I tell them go for steamed vegetables, not raw vegetables. If somebody's irritable bowel syndrome, the first thing I ask them is, a lot of them aren't vegan, so I ask them to quit dairy. But there are patients who come to me, they're vegan, and I ask them, they're like, oh, I'm consuming a lot of soda, I'm not sleeping properly, I'm watching cell phone, I'm addicted to cell phone. These things ruin your sleep, and whatever ruins your sleep is going to ruin your whole health completely. So there are different components of your body that needs to be fixed to help you become healthy. Especially if you've been suffering for a long period of time, you need rebalancing. So you have to go to the other end until you come back to your equilibrium.
Do you have any tips for people who may not be able to access you, but might be able to, take from this, if they're having difficulties, try to implement to resolve any of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Dr. Michael Greger has done a wonderful job creating this app called Dr. Michael Greger's Daily Dozen. It's an easy, free app available. You can download it. It gives you all details about what you should eat in a day's time, how many servings of each. It divides based on 12 food categories or 10 food categories and 2 other recommendations. And in each category, what all things you can eat, it will tell you that. Plus it will show you the pictures, the benefits of it, the videos, and sometimes recipes. It's a great starting point to have Daily Dozen app. And the beauty of it is you can track it every day. So anything is on there is good for you. Anything outside of that, not good for you. So if you start over there, I think you'll be on a right journey. If you want to see some resources, then his website, nutritionfacts.org, his book, How Not to Die. Actually, every patient of mine gets these resources on a handout, so they know where to start and what to do. It's a great start. It's not end all be all. It's a great starting point.
But if somebody's experiencing maybe some gastrointestinal issues, is there any like kind of thing you could just say, generally speaking, that might be a good idea for people to consider?
Absolutely.
Like what?
So besides going on whole foods, plant-based diet, giving up all sorts of animal products and processed foods, you should also quit eating after 6 o'clock. Very important. If you eat after 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 latest, if you eat after that, and then what happens is your digestive system goes down, the capacity to digest food goes down. It stays in your stomach because gastric emptying time, the time for the stomach to empty out everything takes several hours. So the food sits there, you sleep, your gut sleeps. You move, your gut moves. If your gut goes to sleep with food in there, it's going to rot, it's going to release toxins. Even if it is healthy, it's going to cause problems. So people say everything in moderation. I say do moderation of healthy stuff. Poisonous food, there is no moderation. It should be zero. You never have cyanide saying, oh, I'm having cyanide in moderation. No, it's poison. Poison should be zero. In healthy stuff, you should do moderation. So moderation, eat less than your appetite. Do not eat after 6 o'clock. And move. After every meal, move. The more you move, better off you are. And the last thing I would say is, get the phone out of your bedroom. No cell phones, no screen time in bedroom. Once you, for the last hour of the day, have zero screen time. Let that be winding down hour, because if you are exposing yourself to dark environment at that time, your body starts creating melatonin, and that's what's important for your healing. So when you sleep, the healing mechanism becomes active. Your body will actually get healed in that process. These are some basics that you can easily do that will really help you in the long run.
The whole thing about the melatonin is like a circadian rhythm, like our digestion has its own circadian rhythm.
Absolutely, it does.
Yeah. Is there any, can you talk on that a little bit? Because to me that's fascinating.
That's right, yeah. So circadian rhythm is basically biological clock. So one of my recommendations, traditional recommendations that I tell my patients and ask them to do is, in the middle of the day, they have to go out in sunlight to reset that biological clock. That way your body knows that this is actually the daytime, and it will recalculate. So in the evening time, it will automatically know, now this is the night time because at 12 o'clock I was in the sun for 10 minutes. You don't have to be too long. 10 minutes is good enough.
But I heard it's best to set that before like 9 a.m. to get the infrared.
So actually the best, believe it or not, the best sunlight is in the middle of the day.
Yeah, for different reasons.
For different reason, for vitamin D. But you can go in the evenings too. Evening or morning, that's okay. You can be there for a longer period of time. In the middle of the day when you're in the bright sunlight, or in the evening, as long as you're out in the sun, your body, your brain is going to register that this is the daytime.
Yeah, but in the morning, that infrared triggers melatonin on a cellular level and protects you from the midday sun, is what I've heard. I don't know. But I'm curious how this ties into digestion.
Absolutely. So when you are sleeping, if your body is working on digestion, it does not have so much of a mechanism on healing your body. So I recommend intermittent fasting. So if you stop after 6 o'clock, your body gets enough time to digest whatever you have consumed. And then now melatonin is active. Melatonin for first 4 hours heals your body, next 4 hours heals your brain and cleanses it. So during this time, your body goes into cleaning mode. And your stomach loves the resting time. There are two systems in our body, parasympathetic and sympathetic. Sympathetic is very active, fight or flight mode, and parasympathetic is rest and digest mode. So when you're actually relaxed and have a good sleep, your digestive system becomes strong, your body heals. But if you're watching exciting, violent movies or TV shows, is going to mess up your GI tract, your digestive system, because body thinks that I'm in fight or flight mode. I don't need to focus on digestive system. So guess what? You wake up, you don't feel rested, you feel groggy, your digestive system is not well, you may end up with constipation, and the whole slew of diseases then follows.
Oh, yeah. So what are your favorite foods to eat, or is there any staples you try to get in your diet every day?
So one of the things that I tell my patients is at least have 4 to 5 different fruits in a day. That should be your go-to. They're like, oh, I'm traveling, I'm busy, I'm doing this. I'm like, fruits don't require any cooking. They're easily available. Just keep 4 to 5 fruits handy for yourself. That way you can consume them all day.
Any kind? Can you just be 4 bananas or?
I recommend 4 to 5 different fruits, rainbow diet. Different colors will give you different kind of nutrients, phytonutrients, antioxidants to help heal your body, make it stronger. So 4 to 5 different fruits, but if you want to have different days for different fruits, that's fine too. And then nuts. As long as they are raw, they are not salted or oily, a handful of nuts. So having handful of nuts and 4 to 5 different fruits, that will get you through all day. Otherwise, you're going to reach out to calorie-dense foods. Whenever you're hungry, your body goes into this mode, basic instinct, to reach out calorie-dense food, which actually hurt you more than help you. And then you end up with, a few moments of the lips, forever on the hips. That kind of situation. All the fruits, right? Fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, seeds, lentils, whole grains, herbs and spices. Essentially, these are the broad categories, and you should try to hit all of these. But when you follow Daily Dozen app, it will give you a number of servings you can do in every day. Now, you may not be able to get all of it every single day, so I say that at least do all these categories totally 3 to 4 times a week. Now, some of them are very busy, they don't have time, then you can buy these pastas at Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, which are made of lentil, edamame. These are amazing. These are whole foods, only one ingredient, and you can easily cook them in Instapot or, and put lots of veggies in there, a little bit of spices, a little bit of herbs, and you're ready to go. But my go-to is fruits and nuts. If you can have veggie salad, that's also great with beans in there. So based on how busy you are, how much time you can actually spend on this, really you can customize it that way.
Yeah. When you say intermittent fasting, do you recommend like starting the day a certain way and a certain time?
So I generally recommend whatever you do, stop eating latest by 6 o'clock. Some people like to go up to 8 o'clock, and that's fine if their work schedule is such. But my recommendation generally is 6 to 7 at max. And then some people stop at 3 p.m. and they wait for 16 hours and start early morning breakfast, and that's fine. Some people stop at 6 o'clock and start at next morning 10 a.m. and that's fine. Whatever works for you. 16 hours, everybody is different, so you know your body better. Give it a try. Eventually start with 12 if you haven't done it before. 12, go to 14, 16, sometimes 18, 20. My longest fast has been 9 nights, 8 days in a row with just water only fasting. But I've had patients who do 3 days fast every 3 months, and they see tremendous results on that. So I strongly recommend fasting in a balanced way, of course.
And could fasting help if somebody's having some gastrointestinal issues?
100%.
And talk about that for a second.
Oh, for sure. So one of the things, the GI is essentially every time you eat something, you're healing or hurting your body, right? But every time you eat something, your gastrointestinal system has to work. It works for 24 hours. One time you eat, it takes at least 24 to 30 hours for it to completely go through the entire digestive tract. So when you do intermittent fasting, your GI tract gets good rest, and everybody loves rest. Your body also needs some rest. Your GI tract needs some rest. So intermittent fasting is going to help you a lot on that front. Additionally, if you want another facet, which I generally don't talk about it, more fasting you do, your body starts breaking down fat and creates ketone bodies. And ketone bodies are so smart, they actually destroy the bad cells of body and use that energy to heal and make your good cells of your body stronger. And that applies to your GI tract as well.
How long does it take to achieve the ketones?
So ketones truly 3 days, but even 16 hours is good enough, because it's going to start burning the glucose that is stored in the liver. So a lot of them have fatty liver disease, which is still GI tract problem. So you start doing intermittent fasting, your body starts utilizing that stored glucose, that stored fat and glycogen, and then it breaks it down. So your fatty liver disease starts going down. Remember, you cannot just do intermittent fasting and then go on junk food. You have to stick to whole foods, plant-based diet when you're actually eating the food. Otherwise, the results really don't come through. You don't see the results.
Is there any kind of like ideal way to start a fast and end a fast, like a certain food that's better to start with or end with?
If you're talking about intermittent fasting on a daily basis, whatever works for you. But if you're doing longer fasts, then definitely go slow. Start with broths, vegetable broth. Keep it simple, keep it easy on your digestive tract. It's been resting for a few days. You cannot put heavy to digest stuff instantly. If you put like right away, you put hummus and beans, that could be a little bit difficult to digest. So start slow. Don't put nuts in there. Put veggies, veggie broths, or soups. Easy to digest, and over the period of few hours, let it get used to it. Drink plenty of water, and then slowly advance. But it's a process.
Nice. Now, is it safe to raise children on a whole food, plant-based, vegan diet? And do you have anything you could say about that?
Absolutely. Actually, I did a podcast on this. Vegan food, poison or panacea for kids, and I got pediatricians who had practiced across 4 countries, dietitians, family medicine practitioner, gastroenterologist, lifestyle medicine specialist, in India, Ayurveda specialist, and vegan parents who have raised their kids vegan since the child was born. And so we had a good long 3-hour discussion where we discussed all sorts of questions. So vegan whole foods plant-based diet. Whole foods plant-based diet is absolutely phenomenal for pregnant moms, newborn babies. Of course, newborn babies are going to be on mother's milk, and once they're weaned off, they should be on whole foods plant-based diet. Lactating moms, it's actually amazing how beneficial it is for them. It avoids all kinds of health-related problems as long as you're doing balanced whole foods plant-based diet.
Do you have a quote you want to share?
So my favorite quote is, there are 2 quotes that I tell my patients. Let food be thy medicine. If you don't eat the right food, medicines aren't going to work. If you eat the right food, you won't need medicines. These are my 2 favorite quotes. There are plenty more, but these are 2 that I go to all the time and talk to my patients.
Awesome. And could you ever be with somebody who isn't vegan?
Who?
Could you be with somebody who is not vegan?
I do hang out with friends.
I mean, like in an intimate relationship?
Oh, well, I'm married and my wife is vegan, so I don't have to worry about that problem. And she's totally aligned with my thoughts. Her thoughts and my thoughts are totally aligned. And she's actually much more stricter whole foods plant-based than I am. And thanks to her, I get to eat whole foods plant-based diet all the time. So I'm very grateful. I don't have to be in that situation. Personally, I always was of the belief that food is something you're going to do 3 times a day for the rest of your life. So if your thoughts aren't aligned, it becomes a very difficult situation. It's something you have to consider before you pursue that option.
Do calories matter?
So I never ask my patients to worry about calories, and actually I ask them to stop worrying about calories because it could be misleading. If you go on whole foods plant-based diet, automatically you're going to get enough calories you need. I've had patients who are overweight who went on whole foods plant-based diet. They ended up losing weight. They wanted to do that. At the same time, I've had patients who were underweight, went on whole foods plant-based diet and gained weight. So it really, body comes to an equilibrium when you're eating. So focus on the food categories as opposed to calories. People keep counting calories and end up eating junk food. Like, oh, if I have this ice cream, I'll skip this meal. These are equal number of calories. No, it doesn't work that way. Eat fiber-rich foods. It may or may not have calories. That's good for you. Fiber-less foods such as ice cream and processed foods and animal products, extremely bad for you. So do not worry about calories. And the beauty that we fail to understand is, even though it comes with certain number of calories, your body is going to absorb optimal number of calories. So not everybody absorbs same amount of calorie from the same food. So you may absorb different number of calories and I may absorb different number of calories from the same food item. So do not worry about it. Your body is smart. We trust artificial intelligence, but natural intelligence is much more smarter. Every cell of your body is very smart and is designed to heal and prosper as long as you provide the right fuel. If you're putting wrong fuel in the car is going to break down. Just put the right fuel. That's all you need to do.
So we're at Pythagoras Restaurant here in Houston. Why are we here?
So we are here to discuss about Faraz's non-profit organization, Allied Scholars for Animal Protection, where we will do animal advocacy and help spread the awareness about violence against animals, and also the impact of violence against animals on environment, on your health. So those are the things that we want to make people aware of. And that's basically why for us got all of us here together. And the owner of this restaurant is also very passionate about non-violent mechanisms and protecting animals. So that's why we are here today.
Is there anything else you could share in respect to why you think maybe people have a difficult time being vegan when it comes to diet? Any other advice there or reasons people might quote unquote fail at this that you could share, maybe help prevent that?
So the biggest challenge that I feel that patients face is, but doc, my wife, my husband, my kids, my family, my friends, everybody eats meat and I cannot be the only one not eating it. This is not normal, this is abnormal. So one of the things that I have noticed that if they see a community, if they realize that they are not alone, there are so many people out there who are on this path, then all of a sudden they feel that, okay, I'm not doing something out of the ordinary. And they could be the ones who will spread awareness and make their family and friends healthy after they get healthy. That's why I always ask them to watch the movies first. I give them a handout in that I recommend watching some movies first. And once they see the movies, they realize that it's a movement. There are people all across the world who are on this journey, and there are people locally also on this journey. And that's a big thing for them. That's an information that gives them confidence that I can be on this path. If millions of other people are and they have healed themselves, I can do it too. So not only will I heal, I'll have a community, and then I can use that information to spread amongst my family members. So that social aspect is a big one. I think once you get through that, it's much easier.
Awesome. And how can people find out more about you? Do you have a website and all that?
Yeah, I'm with UT Physicians. If you just Google me, you'll find UT Physicians website. UT Physicians, University of Texas Physicians.
Okay. Could they talk to you? Is there a way that people could do that remotely, telehealth-wise, or send you a message, or do they have to become a patient?
I think for now, they do have to become patients, but my email is, I think if you click on my name, you'll find their email. You can always email me. I think UT has a policy that I can only see patients within Texas boundary. I can't see them outside. Unfortunately, clinic is pretty busy, so getting in as a patient is a little bit of a difficult path because you have to wait for a few months before you come see me. But yeah, shoot me an email and I'll do my best to get you into clinic if you need to see me.
And if they need to find somebody locally, should they go to the American College of Lifestyle Medicine and see if they can find a local doctor or anything? Any other resources like that you might want?
PCRM has that resources, Physicians Committee of Responsible Medicine. So their website has this option. Of course, ACLM, American College of Lifestyle Medicine. So you will see board certified lifestyle medicine physicians. And we have a Texas Lifestyle Medicine group, a chapter of ACLM, American College of Lifestyle Medicine. We have a chapter in Texas, and I'm seeing lots and lots of practitioners of lifestyle medicine in Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, and people are getting involved into it, want to get board certified into it, they're more aware of it, and they want to spread awareness. So you might easily find somebody local to you, just didn't know. Just start Googling it and you will start finding it.
And have you heard of plant-based telehealth?
Plant-based telehealth, I have.
Yeah, well, that's just another one. To close this, is there anything that we didn't get out, that we didn't talk about that you would like to get out there, or any last-minute encouraging words?
One of the things that I've focused on sleep, I've focused on diet, I've focused on exercising, moving. People think alcohol is okay. It's not. Even a little bit of alcohol is poison for you. It's going to hurt you. It is carcinogenic. Every single doctor will tell you that every single cancer, one of the risk factors is alcohol. So please don't put toxins in your body. Treat your body like a temple. Don't put toxins in the body. No alcohol, no drugs, not needed. You may see short-term benefit. People tell me, oh, if I drink alcohol, I can get good night's sleep. They don't realize it ruins your circadian rhythm. It ruins your sleep quality, and in the long run, you're hurting yourself a whole lot more than you can imagine. So no alcohol, not even a single drop of alcohol. That's the key. One last aspect is stress management. Although it may sound a little banal, but do a little bit of meditation. 5 to 10 minutes of meditation, no more than that. It's going to be truly helpful for your health.
What do you think about love?
Absolutely. Love, I think when you do all of this, you develop so much compassion in you. You're going to love every single person around you, not just family, but every single person. You're going to develop compassion. Actually, it's funny. One of my nurse practitioners, when I was in Virginia, she wasn't on whole foods, plant-based diet, but we have patients with inflammatory bowel disease, ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. And she always used to come and tell me, when our patients fall in love, their disease goes into remission. But when they break up or something, their disease gets worse. The love part, where this love should be unconditional, okay? If you have some conditions attached to it, it's going to hurt you a lot. So it should be unconditional love, unconditional volunteering, unconditional willingness to help others. And guess what? First of all, it will help you because the hormones it generates helps you heal. And on top of that, whatever goes around comes around. You're going to be helped in some or the other way in time. So definitely, love is a very crucial part. But if you do all the other aspects, you automatically are going to end up loving people. You're not going to be miserable at all.
Well, man, you just radiate love, and I love everything you have to say. And thank you for your time, and this has been great.